Today, we're talking about how to get you and your chickens ready for winter. Because, well, while your birds might have built-in down jackets, they will still appreciate a little help when the temperatures drop. So grab your hot chocolate and let's talk about my top 5 tips to prepare for winter. The chicken edition, of course. Hey y'all, I'm Renee and welcome to TaterTown. While chickens tend to tolerate the cold much better than the really hot temperatures in the summer, there's a few things you definitely want to make sure you're paying attention to, especially if you have very young, very old chickens, and of course any sick chickens, and that includes chickens that are molting. Oh, real quick, I want to do some quick shameless self-promotion here if you don't mind. As some of you know, I'm a songwriter and I just released a Christmas album. It's available on all digital platforms, so if you wouldn't mind, take a listen on your favorite streaming service and add it to your holiday music playlist if you've got one. I'll have the links in the description section in this video, and it would mean a great deal to me if you check it out. Okay, first things first, let's talk about your coop. If you've ever been inside a closed chicken coop in the winter and thought, good grief, it smells like someone microwaved a barnyard, that's your cue to fix your ventilation. And here's the science part. Just like us, chickens breathe out and poop out moisture, and that moisture turns into humidity. And when humidity meets freezing temperatures, that moisture in the air condenses onto those warm chicken combs and you get frostbite. Even our homes are designed with things like ridge vent and air exchangers to help keep air moving and to remove humid, stale air. So you want good airflow up high, but no drafts blowing directly on your birds. Next up, let's talk about the deep litter method, also known as the chicken version of central heating. And this is what, don't do it. This is what the deep litter method looks like. You start with a clean coop and then layer dry bedding. Either you can do pine shavings. I think some people use straw. I use hemp bedding. This particular brand here is what I use. Oh, I knew you were gonna do it. Dang it, Lana. And you wanna start with 4 to 6 inches deep. As your chickens do their thing, and by thing I mean poop, that bedding starts to compost. And that composting creates a little bit of natural heat. If you've ever had a compost pile, you've probably seen or felt the heat coming from it. It also provides extra insulation between the outside and the inside of your coop. All you have to do is stir it once or twice a week to keep it oxygenated and add more bedding. Would you stop and add more bedding as needed? This is also to make sure you're mixing in the wet poop so you don't have too much moisture in the coop. Your coop will be warmer in the winter, and by spring, you'll have gorgeous pre-composted material for your garden. The next thing we're going to talk about is water, so follow me. Now, if you've ever gone out on a frosty morning and found your chicken waterer turned into a mini ice sculpture, welcome to the club. Chickens need water to digest food and keep laying. And no, they can't survive on snow cones. This goes for all of your outdoor livestock. Your animals may choose to drink less if it's icy, so keeping it even mildly warm will encourage them to drink more. Now you can grab a heated waterer or DIY it with a heated base. You can even make a very easy to maintain waterer by checking out my videos on keeping your chickens watered cleaner for longer. Now, all of these methods require electricity. So if you're off grid, or even if you're just thrifty, you'll have to rotate your waterers. You'll want at least 2, so you can let one defrost while your chickens have access to the non-frozen water. And for those of you who like the added science info, moving water freezes slower due to mixing and the kinetic energy of the movement. So a little bubbler can actually help keep your water from freezing as fast. The next thing we want to do is feed the furnace. Your chickens are basically little feathered furnaces. They burn calories to stay warm, so help them out by boosting their feed a bit in winter. Give them their regular feed, making sure they don't run out. But you can also toss a handful of scratch grains, or my favorites, some black oil sunflower seeds, or mealworms. The best time to do this is in the evening. It's like giving them a warm bedtime snack that fuels their internal heaters overnight. Just be careful not to overfeed them with the extra treats. And don't forget to keep providing them grit and oyster shell because their digestive systems don't take a snow day. Next up, you need to beat boredom before it becomes a pecking problem. When the days get short and the snow piles up, chickens can get cranky and bored. Kind of like us before caffeine in the morning. Bored chickens start pecking each other, so give them stuff to do. You can hang a cabbage on a string, scatter scratch for foraging, or set up a dust bath with wood, ash, and sand. Hi! Anything that keeps them busy, clean, and entertained. Basically, you know, chicken Netflix. What's up, little girls? And remember, like I said earlier, chickens handle cold way better than heat. If they're dry, out of the drafts, and have food and water, they'll be just fine. What's up, Lil? You can save the sweaters for you, not your hens. Right, Lil? You just can't get away from the noise and the bugs.
Yeah.
One last thing I want to mention, since I know some of you will have this question because, well, I did too when I first started raising chickens. And that is, do you need a heater in the hen house or do you need to have the hen house heated in some way or another? The answer is it depends on your situation. The first 2 years I had chickens, I had a chicken tractor, and every time I moved it around, that structure shifted in ways that created lots of gaps. So my coop was super drafty in the winter, even after I added some extra weather stripping. So I bought one of those infrared panel heaters, and the chickens definitely appreciated it because they would all try to get underneath it. Now, when we built the new coop, I made sure it was insulated, and we've got R19 in the walls. And I keep a thermostat/hygrometer in there so I can monitor the temperature and humidity levels. And what I've seen is that during the daytime, when their coop door is open, the one that goes to the outside, the temperature and humidity inside is the same as it is outside, give or take. But in the evening, once that door closes to the outside, between the insulation and the chicken's body heat, the indoor temperature between the insulation and their body heat, the indoor temperature here is almost always about 15 to 20 degrees warmer than the temperature outside. The good thing about this is I don't need electricity to keep it warm. This is important. Why? Because if you're using a heater, there's always a chance that you could have a power outage. And if you lose the heat that it provides, it can result in a rapid drop in temperature in the coop. That can have some serious negative effects on your chickens, things like frostbite and hypothermia. So my advice to you would be, if it's really cold in the winter where you live, do the best you can to keep your coop draft-free, and if you can insulate the coop, do it, but still make sure you have ventilation at the top. All right, so if you learned something or just enjoyed watching me talk to the chickens, hit that like button and subscribe, and drop me a comment with your best cold weather chicken hack. Stay warm, stay curious, and I'll see you next time on TaterTown.
And don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe so you can see more videos that will help you do those things you never thought you could.